Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, Lieutenant General Datuk Seri Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman, Deputy Chief of Army. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Muhammad Asghar Khan bin Goriman Khan, RMAF, Chief of Air Force. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, Laksamana Tan Sri Muhammad Reza bin Muhammad Sani, Chief of Navy. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, Datuk Sri Muiz bin Abdul Aziz, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defence. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia, General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Haji Effendi bin Buang, RMAF, Chief of Defence Force, with Yang Amat Mulia Tengku Panglima Muda Tengku Ahmad Ismail Muazzam Shah, Ibni Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Musta'in Billah Shah. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Iqmal Hisham bin Abdul Aziz, Deputy Minister of Defence. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Hishamuddin bin Tun Hussein, Senior Minister of Defence, accompanied by Yang Berbahagia General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Zamrus bin Mohammad Zain, Chief of Army. Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and selamat datang to Gemas Range, the premier Malaysian Army firing range, to witness the Firepower Training 2022. You are now on live firing. Do not leave your seats and do protect your ears. To seek blessings from the Almighty God, we now invite Colonel Hasbullah bin Saleh to recite the dua.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In the name of Allah, most gracious and most merciful, all praise due to the Almighty Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the world. May the peace and mercy of Allah be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, companions, and followers. Almighty Allah, on the blessed day, we express our utmost gratitude to you, for with your bountiful grace and mercy, we are able to gather here for opening the Firepower Training 2022. Allah, the All-Knowing, we humbly seek your blessing and guidance for the exhibition to progress and to achieve the intended outcome. Let this gathering be the most rewarding to all present and enable participants from everywhere to meet and interact for mutual gains and success, and would further foster relationship and spiritual among nations. Allahumma inna na'udhu biki minal barasi wal junun wal juzam wa min sayyi'il asqam. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.
Thank you, sir. We now invite Yang Berbahagia General Tan Sri Dato' Sri Zamrus bin Mohammad Zain, Chief of Army, to deliver the welcoming speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajmain. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Yang berhormat Datuk Seri Syamsuddin bin Tun Hussein, Senior Minister of Defence. Yang berhormat Datuk Seri Iqmal Hisham bin Abdul Aziz, Deputy Minister of Defence. Yang berbahagia General Tan Sri Dato' Sri Haji Effendi bin Buang, RMAF, Chief of Defence Force. Yang berbahagia Dato' Sri Muiz bin Abdul Aziz, Secretary General, Ministry of Defence. Yang berbahagia Admiral Tan Sri Muhammad Reza bin Muhammad Sani, Chief of Navy. Yang berbahagia General Tan Sri Dato' Sri Muhammad Asghar Han bin Goriman Han, RMAF, Chief of Air Force. Yang amat mulia Tengku Panglima Muda Tengku Ahmad Ismail Muazzam Shah Ibni Al-Sultan Abdullah Ri'atuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah, Datuk-Datuk Panglima-Panglima Defence Attaches, Senior Officers, Distinguished Guests, Regimental Sergeant Majors, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. It is indeed our great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you to Gemas live firing range for the Malaysian Army Firepower Training 2022. The event today is more meaningful and becomes special with the presence of Yang Berhormat Senior Minister of Defence. Despite of his busy schedule, it should be mentioned that Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri will be leaving today for the 16th ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting, ADMM, in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Hence, on behalf of all officers and men, I would like to record my utmost gratitude and sincere thanks for your everlasting commitment and support towards the Malaysian Army and Malaysian Armed Forces. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, your presence here today at the Malaysian Army Firepower Training 2022 is a testimony of the significance of this annual training event and the value it carries in our effort to ensure a formidable and reputable force. We are truly grateful that after a challenging time through a global pandemic, the Malaysian Army has stood resilient and steadfast, along with our compatriots, the Royal Malaysian Navy and the Royal Malaysian Air Force, in executing our roles and responsibility in protecting the sovereignty of the nation and performing our secondary role in assisting civilian authorities in the fight against COVID-19. Immaterial of the circumstances, we continue to train and equip ourselves in order to stay true to our calling as military men and women. The firepower training is a platform where the synergy of man-machine method is put to test and executed with the highest degree of professionalism and dedication. It is imperative that as a military organization, the conduct of operations and training is based on an approach or objective that operates as a guidance and driving force towards attaining the mission and vision set. As such, in my order of the day, the training has been planned and executed to realize the first two pillars, which are mission continuity and preparedness. as well as organizational integrity and professionalism. This is achieved through the integration of operational capabilities from all three services and the employment of various weapon systems to interpret the requirements in a joint operational environment. This is relevant to the requirements of the Defense White Paper that outlines the progressive approach to develop and ensure that our defense capabilities are at par with the security demands today. It complements MINDEF strategies plan in relation to the first call that state the need to be ready and able to defend the nation at any given time and situation. Realizing this, I am immensely proud to announce that this year, for the very first time, we are privileged to witness the newly procured MD-530G helicopter that's equipped with 7.62mm Gatling gun and 12.7mm heavy machine gun, and the firing of 105mm LG-1 Mark III guns from the 1st Royal Artillery Regiment Para. Within this context, the firepower training is designed to enable troops to efficiently and effectively enhance their warfighting skills through the depictions of a tactical scenario, which is the deployment of a combined arms division in an offensive operation as part of the land component in joint task force setup. The segments presented today are interconnected, reflecting the deployment of a combat element within the divisional operational framework. For example, deep and close areas. It is a synchronization of weapons, equipment, and vehicle in the Army inventory and the manner in which it is employed to accomplish a given mission. Notable audience of the Malaysian Army Firepower Training 2022. It is my sincere hope that as all of you witness and personally feel the impact, lethality, and precision of the combined firepower, you'll be able to have a glimpse and insight into the complexity of a combined arms fire and the art of maneuver of the battlefield. This is a showcase of the apex of integration, synchronization, and cohesiveness of all skills set, applied decisively and effectively by drivers, gunners, crews, and commanders. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our appreciation to all the committees, along with every individual who has directly and indirectly contributed to the realization of this training. Most importantly, to the able men and women of the Firepower Training 2022. Those men in the weapon system and everyone on the ground. Well done, and thank you for your commitment and determination. On that note, Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, Yang berbahagia Tan Sri, Datuk-Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and let us enjoy the bang, the blast, and the adrenaline rush of Firepower Training 2022. Sekian wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Gagah setia.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri. Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we begin the Firepower Training 2022 with the dynamic segment. Allow me to provide a few important aspects of the training today. This segment will simulate a divisional offensive operation, cumulating the available weapon system capabilities currently in the Malaysian Army inventory. It is also aimed at demonstrating the capabilities and effects of these weapons with the required safety procedures taking precedence. For your information, throughout the firing, all vehicles have flags with green, red, and yellow colors signifying the following. Green flag indicates that the weapon is safe. Red flag that the weapon is armed and ready to fire, while yellow flag indicates stoppages or malfunction of the weapon. Before we proceed any further, the targets that will be engaged from this position will be orientated. North is to your rear. As we are looking southward to the far ground against the skyline is the legendary Mount Ledang. All the targets had been marked by numbers and will be indicated by firing. The Wemtec 12.7mm heavy machine gun will engage targets number 1, number 2, and number 9. The AV 8x8 Compita 25mm will engage targets number 4, 5, 6, and 8, while the AV 8x8 Compita 30mm will engage targets number 3 and number 7. From your location to target number 1, 380 meters. Target number 2, 405 meters. Target number 3, 995 meters. Target number 4, 440 meters. Target number 5, 460 meters. Target number 6, 590 meters. Target number 7, 735 meters. Target number 8, 570 meters. And target number 9, 290 meters. Yang berhormat Datuk Seri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to provide a general scenario of the training today. For the purpose of this training, a simulation of a counter-offensive operation against an invading enemy is conducted. The enemy face is an island country located at the northeast part of Malaysia, known as Lanun Land. The situation is a continuation of a conflict between Malaysia and Lanun Land due to issues such as economic, politics, and recognition by the United Nations on its island claims. Having dominated the air line of communication and the sea line of communication, the Lanun Land forces landed and established its forward operational base on Tioman Island and eventually a beachhead at vicinity Jemalwang. The Lanun Land forces, spearheaded by the Expeditionary Force, it is advancing from its beachhead towards Kluang and subsequently to Batu Pahat. Their mission is to annex Johor and gain control of the southern region of Malaysia. The advance is preceded by a reconnaissance operation to gather information on our friendly forces. The commander of Army Field Command West commanded the 3rd Combined Armed Division to carry out an offensive operation on the area of responsibility that has been granted. For this purpose, a battle group has been tasked to defend Johor and deny enemy mission to annex Johor. The operation is conducted through the initiation of the preliminary operations, whereby in this operation, the decisive events that are simulated include the sabotage operations by the Special Forces, the Cavalry Troop Intelligence, Surveillance and Reconnaissance operations, air operations by the Army, Aviation and Royal Malaysian Navy assets, and the eventual battle group attack. The 3rd Division acts as the main effort of the Army with the assistance of the Navy and the Air Force assets to defeat the Lanun Land Expeditionary Force. Before the commencement of an operation, battle procedure is implemented. This is an essential drill that can be conducted to the time available and should not slow down the momentum of the operations. Timely orders are essential to ensure the most efficient use of resources within the time available. The warning order allows subordinates to prepare for a new operation and initiates the concurrent activity of all groups, which is the basis of a good battle procedure. The aim of battle procedure is to save time and to ensure that battle groups and combat team prepares for battle efficiently and is deployed for battle with maximum preparation. For the Army aviation elements, in order to optimize the combined effect of the unit, the commanders and personnel involved in the air reconnaissance operation must be aware of the differences of characteristics, organization, capabilities, and limitations. Detailed planning and efficient combat support is conducted and ensured to enable it to implement any mission within its capabilities and remain as a vital asset to the formation commander. System checks and ammunition allocations are carefully done to ensure effective and uninterrupted conduct of the mission. As for the artillery elements, providing continuous and effective fire support remains the highest priority of any operation. The operational requirements and missions at hand are well conveyed to every level of command. Preparations include allocation and demanding of ammunition for the period of operations, target distribution received from higher formation, identifying and predetermining gun position, establishing fire coordination with other available fire units, and conducting deployment rehearsals. Rehearsals are a vital part of a battle procedure as it enables the crew to maintain momentum and demands of the operation. In order to ensure that the armor elements, which is a major asset in the battle group, is ready and able to be deployed, a detailed and rigorous preparation of all systems and weapon platforms are conducted. The troops also conduct maneuver rehearsals, and the cavalry troops will begin their operations to conduct reconnaissance operations. The armor element is then deployed well forward as a covering force for the division's offensive operations. As the main effort and being the assaulting element, the mechanized infantry conducts the delivery of orders at every level to ensure the detailed mission, assessment of troops to task, operation requirements, and other aspects such as command and control. The vehicles and weapon systems are also ensured of its optimized function that is crucial to the success of the mission. While the Navy element, on the other hand, conducts preparation of ammunition and system checks to enable its function as a force multiplier in the battle group. Mission requirements are spelled out in the orders, and initial deployments are conducted to provide flank security and assault on enemy position in collaboration with the Army aviation units. While the Air Force elements, while continuing the routine combat air patrol or CAP, plans and allocates available fighter aircrafts for the purpose of close air support and other operations. The type of fighter aircraft deployed depends on the mission requirement and the air threat present at any given time. Taking up position in front of the stage are 4 PT-91 and Pendeka main battle tanks in staggered formation and 4 Malaysian infantry fighting vehicles with 1 Gempita armored command vehicle in diamond formation for the battle group commander to report.
Firepower training 2022 consists of 1,259 personnel with multiple combat assets ready for the exercise. Permission to proceed, Yang Berhormat Dato' Sri.
For your information, the Commander Battle Group Tiger reporting at the beginning of that segment was Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Jafri Zolbi Muhammad Jafri, Commanding Officer of 19th Royal Malay Regiment, Mechanized. Now please focus on 2 Pendekas that will engage target number 7. Please protect your ears. Above us in the sky, making entrance from the rear of the grandstand, is the Augusta 109 Light Observation Helicopter, Superlynx Mark 100, MD530G, and Eurocopter AS555SN Fennec 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Firepower Training 2022. With that, we shall now commence with the training. We are now currently at the vicinity of Kahang, where the enemy targeted locality has been confirmed. Based on intelligence report gathered, an enemy high-value target has been sighted at vicinity target number 9. The commander assessed that it is crucial to the operations to deploy the Rapid Deployment Force from the 10th Para Brigade to conduct a raid in the deep area. The EC-725 is tasked to transport a section strength to the landing point to commence with the operation. Please focus to your left where a section is conducting a fast roping to execute a mission. Helicopter fast rope suspension techniques provide with the ability to conduct helicopter insertions and extractions where helicopter landings are impractical. Fast roping is a technique for descending a thick rope. It is useful for deploying troops from a helicopter in places where the helicopter itself cannot touch down. The Para Brigade will execute a small unit operation through infiltration as part of a combined operation conducted simultaneously with the Special Forces operation to deny enemy ability to conduct the operations. The troop will then move to the enemy area at vicinity target number 9 on your right to conduct a raid on enemy locations. The Special Forces sniper team has been tasked to eliminate the enemy high-value target at this location. This is a segment of sabotage of important targets such as air defense radar and communication systems carried out behind enemy position through Special Forces operations by 21 GGK in order to disrupt the enemy. As you can see now, the sniper team is moving into their hide position to execute the mission. Preparation is made to be in stealth mode and also have a clear line of fire. Enemy high-value target has been sighted at target number 9, 4 and 6. Please focus on target number 9. A high-value target personnel will be engaged by the AX-308 7.62mm sniper anti-personnel. Now let's shift our focus to target number 4. The sniper team will destroy enemy radar assets with sniper rifle barrier 12.7mm anti-material. Finally, let's focus to target number 6, where the sniper team will engage the enemy command vehicle with the NTW 20mm. That was an excellent shot by the snipers, and after completing the mission, the sniper team will then withdraw to be redeployed and ready to conduct another operation on orders. A sniper is a military marksman who engages targets from positions of concealment or at distances exceeding the target's detection capabilities. Snipers generally have a specialized training and are equipped with high-precision rifles and high-magnification optics, and often also serves as scouts or observers, feeding tactical information back to their units or command headquarters. In addition to long-range and high-grade marksmanship, military snipers are trained in a variety of special operation techniques, detection, stalking, target range estimation methods, camouflage, fieldcraft, infiltration, special reconnaissance and observation, surveillance and target acquisition. Meanwhile, focus at vicinity target number 9, the small unit operation from the 10th Para Brigade is storming the enemy location to neutralize the high-value target. The speed and agility of this section is highly crucial to ensure the success of this mission. This operation is carried out based on highly reliable intelligence provided through a detailed reconnaissance, surveillance and intelligence operations. A raid is conducted to clear enemy position with aggressive action, to execute bold and decisive action on enemy high-value target. All personnel need to be highly skilled in close fighting combat. In this scenario, enemy communications tower is to be destroyed. The section conducts a raid and accomplishes the mission. A raid is a surprise attack against a position or installation for a specific purpose other than seizing and holding the terrain. It is conducted to destroy a position or installation, destroy or capture enemy soldiers or equipment, or free prisoners. A raid patrol retains terrain just long enough to accomplish the intent of the raid. Raids are characterized by the following: destruction of essential system or facilities such as command and control nodes, logistical areas, and other high-value areas. Provide or deny critical information, securing of hostages or prisoners, confusing the enemy or disrupting his plans, detailed information collection such as significant collection assets committed, and mission command from high headquarters to synchronize the operation. Raids are normally conducted in 5 phases, namely approaching the objective, isolating the objective area, setting the conditions for the assault, and assaulting the objective, while tactical movement away from the objective area. The explosion signifies the success of the mission. The troops will now move to another location for their next mission. Meanwhile, a cavalry troop from the 2nd Regiment Royal Armoured Corps is advancing as the covering force, consisting of 4 AV-8x8 Gempita 30mm and 2 AV-8x8 Gempita anti-tank guided weapon. They are maneuvering in a category movement while conducting reconnaissance, intelligence, surveillance and target acquisition far forward in the 3rd Division deep area of operations along the Air Hitam Kluang Sembrong route. Their mission is to gather intel on enemy activities and restricted enemy recon activity. The armored reconnaissance vehicles are now under attack by enemy suppressing fire. They are now taking cover to return fire onto the enemy infantry section on targets number 5 and target number 6. The remainder of the vehicles are now also taking up position, while the other vehicles provide covering fire to obtain a good line of sight and line of fire. While Gempita anti-tank guidance weapon ATGW conducts covering fire until target number 6, the troop leader, vehicle jockey, and approaches the reconnaissance vehicle to confirm the information.
Hello 19, this is 11. Request confirmation of the enemy location. I repeat, request confirmation of the enemy location. Over. 19, call sign 51 Alpha will be deployed for detection. Over.
You just heard the radio communication where the troop leader makes contact with the Gempita surveillance to locate and identify the enemy. The armored fighting vehicle surveillance can be deployed to assist the front team or troops to make effective area surveys and battlefield analysis to enable plans made systematically and relevant to current needs. The three levels of capability in identifying entities detected by the radar system are detection, recognition, and identification. At this moment, the surveillance is called forward to locate the enemy accurately and report to the commander.
Hello 1-1, this is 5-1 Alpha. Target confirmed. Target 5 distant. 4-6 Mike. Target 6 5-9 Mike. Over. Hello, our call sign 1-1. This is 1-1. Ready for converging fire. Team A to engage target number 5. Team B to engage target number 6. On my call. I'm on. Ready to fire. Firing now.
Enemy destroyed. Gempita surveillance and cavalry troop leaving the battle position and continues at once. For your information, the AV 8x8 Gempita surveillance that you just witnessed is capable of detecting enemy armored vehicles or tanks as far as 30 kilometers.
Combine 30 seconds to target. 30 seconds to target.
Upon positive identification of the RSI element from 2 armor, the air assets are deployed to conduct area reconnaissance operations. The Augusta 109 light observation helicopters are establishing an air observation post on the right and left to direct friendly artillery fire at designated targets or coordinate counter-battery fire with an objective to weaken the enemy's combat capability in deep area, thus dislocating the enemy. After confirming the target, the air observation post will direct the gunship to engage them. The Army Aviation Unit as the Air Reconnaissance Regiment has been modernized with the state-of-the-art light observation helicopters and equipped with high-technology weapon system.
Samudra, this is Wira. Combined enemy sighted. Target number 2 and number 6. Clear for fire. This is Samudra. Ready for fire.
The radio communication states an enemy location sighted and to be engaged. Please shift your attention to the left arc of the Gamas range, observed from hill on your left, where the Super Lynx and Phoenix gunship are conducting the nap of a tactical flying maneuver at treetop level to achieve the element of surprise. Engaging targets number 2 and 6 simultaneously, the Super Lynx and Phoenix are multi-role maritime helicopter and can be deployed either from ship or shore installations. The helicopters are armed with the anti-ship missiles, torpedoes and sensors to enable them to conduct anti-surface warfare and anti-submarine warfare. As for today, the Super Lynx are armed with the FN Hertzl 12.7mm M3M HMG and will combine with the Augusta to provide enemy interdiction. This machine gun may fire up to 1,000 rounds per minute. Upon completing the firing, the Super Lynx and Fennec makes its way out of Gamas range. Now with the completion of the first wave of engagement, the 2 Augusta 109 are now conducting battle damage assessment. The aircraft commander assessed that the target is not completely neutralized. For your information, the Augusta 109 light observation helicopter are from the Tactical Recon Squadron, 881 Army Aviation Regiment. Armed with a 6-barrel 7.62mm M134D hybrid Gatling gun, this weapon is to provide self-protection, security and additional aerial fire support to the ground troops with the capability to fire up to 3,000 rounds per minute. As you know, the A109 LOH is a reconnaissance helicopter that can be utilized as an aerial observation post or AOP to counter enemies. It is capable of reaching a top speed of 168 knots. Now, to impose a complete neutralization of enemy elements, the Augusta will engage the targets. The Augusta is taking up firing position towards target number 2 and number 6. The Army Aviation Commander is able to determine the overall operational situation in order to concentrate his combat power to defeat the enemy. This unit acts as a force multiplier to the formation or unit commander, as well as the eyes and ears for the commander to combat the enemy force effectively. It also augments the ground force's capability when conducting screen and security operations. Aviation maneuver rapidly and simultaneously in the ground's commander battle space to bring decisive combat power to bear at the decisive points and times of the AO. There is an inextricable link between the manned maneuver and fires of Army aviation, while leveraging organic firepower to shape the battle space or conduct decisive operations. Now, to impose complete neutralization of any elements, it's the MD-530G Scout attack helicopter engaging targets number 7 and number 8 to destroy the remaining enemy. The MD-530G is a next-generation armed scout attack helicopter. It is designed to provide enhanced agility and firepower for the armed forces. Approaching from the left are the Combat Team Alpha and Combat Team Bravo, which are part of the battle group that can be combined to balance against the strength of the enemy forces. Smoke is released to screen the movement of the combat team. The Gempitas will engage enemy position during movement, enabled by its stabilizer system and providing accurate fire. Meanwhile, the MD-530G takes up position on the left and right of the column to provide flank security. The composition of a combat team can be organized into 4 ratios, namely tank heavy, mechanized heavy, solely tank or solely mechanized. You are now witnessing the maneuver of the Combat Team Alpha, the mechanized heavy combat team, with a composition of 9 AV 8x8 Gempita and 4 PT-91M Pendeka. The 25mm variant is equipped with the 25mm Bushmaster M242, the 7.62mm machine gun, and the smoke and fragmentation grenade. It has an effective range of 1,500 meters. As for the 30mm variant, it is equipped with the 30mm cam gun and the 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. The effective range is 2,200 meters. Making its entrance are the PT-91M main battle tanks. PT-91M Pendeka main battle tanks is armed with a 125mm smoothbore gun as main armament, 7.62mm GPMG as coaxial machine gun, and 12.7mm anti-aircraft machine gun. These tanks have ballistic protection, high mobility, and supported by stabilizer system. The vehicle column passing through now are the logistics elements, which is called the A echelon. This element consists of armored vehicle fitter AVF, armored ambulance, armored engineering vehicle AEV, armored recovery vehicle AVR, and heavy recovery vehicle HRV. The two 5-tonner and one 3-tonner trucks passing now had been modified to optimize usage for carrying tank ammo. This innovation was the recipient of the Army Innovation and Creative Award for the year 2021. When the tactical situation warrants for more firepower, maneuverability, communication, and high protection, the combination of these two elements, 2 platoon mechanized and 1 troop tank, as a mechanized heavy combat team, are favorable to the commander. Upon receiving the intel report from the light observation team, the gun commander will make preparation on his assets for the pre-H-hour firing. Meanwhile, currently taking position are the multiple launch rocket systems, the artillery saturation rocket system Astros-2, the 105mm pack howitzer L5, and a 105mm LG-1 Mark III, Adnan Mortar 120mm and Gempita Armored Mortar Carrier 120mm, Adnan Mortar 81mm and a 155mm G5 Mark III. As you can see now, the crews are making the preparation of their vehicles, guns and weapon system in order to accomplish the mission given. During this preparation, all safety measures need to be taken into consideration at its highest level. Those officers in white armband are the safety officers who will ensure the safety of all personnel and assets under their supervision throughout this training. The close support is placed in direct support to a brigade in any operation, with each battery to a battalion. It is located 1/3 behind the battalion and covers 2/3 forward up to 10,000 meters. As for the 155mm or medium support, the deployment is decided by the artillery commander based on the prioritization of operations and the threat situation. The 155mm provides fire support up to a distance of 40 kilometers. The Adnan 120, Gempita 120mm and the 81mm mortars are organic to a battle group. In an actual scenario, its deployment is based on the battle group commander's assessment, considering the terrain, threat and task given by higher formation. The position is at depth of the fighting echelon. A counter battery fire or CB fire is also conducted upon locating the enemy's indirect fire assets. Counter battery fire is a battlefield tactic employed to defeat the enemy's indirect fire elements such as guns, rocket launchers, artillery and mortars, including their target acquisition, command and control components. Counter battery arrangements and responsibilities involve target acquisition, planning and control, and counter fire. In an actual scenario, the Astros-2, which is part of a battery with 6 launchers, is located approximately 40 kilometers behind the forward edge of battle area of FIBA, conducting shoot and scoot deployment. It is deployed to engage high-value targets such as hostile concentration area, enemy indirect fire weapon areas, and main echelon areas. As for the gun batteries, in an actual scenario, the guns deployed in this training depict 6 guns in a battery and 18 guns in a regiment for both the 105 and 155mm. The 105mm pack howitzer L5 from the Close Support Regiment is the longest-serving weapon in the Malaysian Armed Forces. It began its faithful service in 1960 with the establishment of the 1st Field Artillery Regiment. It was extensively deployed during the confrontation and counter-insurgency operations against the Malayan Communist Party and stands strong still today as a reliable and versatile gun. For your information, the Multiple Launch Rocket System, or ASTROS-2, functions to launch various types of rockets, namely the SS-09TS, SS-30, SS-40, SS-60, and the SS-80, ranging from 11 kilometers to 89 kilometers. It can be deployed and ready to fire in less than 10 minutes and manned by a crew of 4. The 105mm pack howitzer does not only perform indirect fire, but also employed as a mountain gun and anti-tank role. This weapon can fire a maximum of 5 rounds per minute with a maximum range of 10,000 meters. Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please focus on your right and left with the ASTROS-2 will fire towards target number 12 and beyond. Both the 120mm mortars on the Adnan and Gempita will fire smoke rounds to provide screen for the movement of troops and vehicles engaging beyond target number 3. The 81mm mortars will now engage enemy at vicinity target number 3 with an approximate time of flight 30 seconds. The 105mm LG-1 Mark III will now engage target number 7. The 105mm L5 pack howitzer will now engage target number 3. Protect your ears for the firing of the 155mm G5 Mark III on target number 3. After a successful pre-8 hour firing, the artillery and infantry units will move to a subsequent location in order to provide continuous fire support for the offensive operation. Some information on the weapon systems. The 105mm LG1 Mark III is designed for intervention and rapid reaction forces. With a maximum range of 17 kilometers, it can be towed by a light vehicle, transported by an average helicopter, or parachuted by a tactical transport aircraft. A crew of 5 men is enough to make it operational and to shoot at the rate of at least 12 rounds per minute. As for the 155mm G5 Mark III gun, is driven onto its platform using the auxiliary propulsion unit with a maximum speed of 16 km per hour. An experienced crew of 8 men, commanded by a sergeant, can bring the gun into action in less than 2 minutes. Its maximum range is 40.5 kilometers at a maximum rate of 3 rounds per minute. The rounds weigh approximately 43 kilograms each. The Adan Mortar 120mm and Gempita 120mm can reach a maximum range of 8,178 meters for high explosive and 12,950 meters for rocket-assisted projectile, making it a highly lethal weapon with a blast radius of 60 meters. As for the Adnan mortar 81mm is equipped with the M86 X-Pulse Pain 81mm mortar with a maximum range of 6,900 meters and a high rate of fire, firing up to 12 rounds per minute. This weapon is highly versatile and not affected by dead ground. During each hour, direct fire is provided to cover the movement of troops to the objective and further suppress the enemy. Each hour is the specific time on D-Day on which hostilities begin. When used in planned operations, this is the specific time at which the main operations begin. In this scenario, the H hour is the time when the assaulting troops crosses the line of departure. The establishment of the direct fire support base is crucial to the offensive operations. During the bombardment before H hour, the direct fire support base group will take up their firing position as per the orders given. The direct fire support base group is tasked to conduct suppressing fire and to destroy enemy armored assets and their defensive position. This group will occupy the position that has been designated as the direct fire support base and will provide suppressing fire during each hour. The direct fire support base lineup consists of the following assets. On your far left are 2 Adnan Bakhtar Shikan, 2 Lipan Bara 7.62mm, 2 Armored Combat Vehicle Adnan Automated Grenade Launcher AGL 40mm, 2 Wemtec AGL 40mm, 2 Wemtec HMG 12.7mm, 2 Adnan HMG 12.7mm, 2 Adnan 25mm, and on your far right are 2 Gempita ATGW Ingwe. The Lipan Bara will engage target number 1 at 340 meters and shift fire to target number 2. The Adnan AGL 40mm with a maximum range of up to 2,212 meters will engage target number 2 and shift fire to target number 4. The Wemtech AGL 40mm with a maximum range of up to 2,212 meters will engage target number 2 and shift fire to target number 4. The Wemtech HMG 12.7mm with a maximum distance of 6,800 meters will first engage target number 6 and followed by target number 8. The Adnan HMG 12.7mm will engage target number 6 and shift fire to target number 8. The Adnan 25mm with a maximum distance of 9,000 meters and effective range of 2,500 meters will engage target number 6 and shift fire to target number 8. Shift your focus to your far left. 2 Adnan Bakhtashikan will fire on target number 6 and number 8. Now please focus to your far right. The Kapita ATJW Ingwe equipped with a 127mm rocket launcher will engage target number 3. The yellow flag raised on the Gempita indicates stoppages or malfunction of the weapon system. In this situation, safety is the utmost priority and the required procedure will be conducted to bring the vehicle to safety. Once the assaulting troops approach the objective, the direct fire support base will cease firing and move to an alternate location to avoid hostile fire and provide continuous fire support. Once an assessment is conducted, the weapon system will be brought out of the range. The orientation of the barrel is to be always towards the target area as the vehicle is led to a specific location for further assessment and repair. For your information, the variation of weapon systems at the DFSB pertains to the numerous range covered and the type of targets engaged. The combination of fire and coordination ensures all targets, irrespective of its nature, is destroyed. For example, Gatling gun mounted on the Lipan Bara has a high rate of fire to suppress enemy in defense area, while the heavy machine gun is highly accurate and used to weaken enemy support weapon or penetrate bunkers. It also fulfills the principle of war on the aspect of concentration of fire and economy of effort. Air reconnaissance indicated that 3 enemy reinforcement tank has been sighted closing in fast to the enemy defensive position, vicinity target number 7. The Armor Heavy Combat Team, called sign Combat Team Bravo, is tasked to neutralize enemy tanks. Currently, the 81mm Adnan Armored Mortar Carrier is providing covering fire for the combat team to take up battle position. The rate of fire from the mortars is determined by the intensity of the battle and intent of the commander. A combat team applies their mobility, firepower and shock effect in order to conduct sustained combat operations in all environments, accomplish rapid movement and limited penetration, exploit success and pursue a defeated enemy as part of a larger formation. We are now witnessing a column of combat team Tank Heavy passing in. Comprising of 2 tank troops and 1 mechanized platoon, this combination deems to balance against the strength of the enemy forces. The ability to maneuver rough terrain is arguably the best feature of a tracked vehicle, as it provides speed and the flexibility to dictate the ground. Now comes the MD-530G helicopters conducting flank protection for the tank heavy column.
Ground, this is Tempo 01. Enemy sighted. Target number 4 and number 8. Weapon hot. Tempo 01, clear for fire.
While the combat team Bravo take up their battle position, the MD-530G helicopter engages enemy at vicinity target number 8. Before assaulting any objectives, support fire will be provided to the combat team based on the suitability of the fire plan and conducted to harass the enemy, covering the movement of the combat team, neutralize enemy forces and disrupting enemy operations. Combat teams are task organized, equipped and trained to accomplish their assigned missions. This is executed through the efficient and balanced groupings of a tank regiment or mechanized battalion assets and other assigned assets by the higher headquarters. The mission that is assigned to a combat team will primarily be based on the core competency of the particular unit, either that of a tank regiment or a mechanized battalion. The core missions include missions requiring wide-ranging or rapid maneuver, favoring armor-heavy forces. Mission requiring close and detailed organization of terrain, favoring mechanized infantry-heavy forces. Missions requiring semi-independent operations or a subordinate unit, favoring an organization for combat that is self-sustaining. A battle group and combat team accomplish their mission and are normally deployed in a divisional or brigade operations. Battle groups and combat teams will be placed under command of a division or a brigade when they are assigned by the higher headquarters of a covering force as a reserve or forming a tactical combat force in rear area operations. Please focus to your right general area of target number 9 as Combat Team Bravo conducts maneuver to take up battle position. For your information, a battle position is an area sighted tactically from which the fighting element of the armor engages the enemy with direct fire from a well-concealed fire position. The location should be such that it does not restrict mobility, firepower, and the flexibility of the combat team. As soon as the tanks occupy the battle position, it will take up the hull down position. Hull down is when the hull of the tank is in cover and only the turret is visible and exposed. Combat Team Bravo is now ready to engage the enemy reinforcement tanks. The Pendeka will be firing at the enemy tanks at target number 7, while the MIV will be firing at engage target number 6 and number 8. The 125mm rounds from the Pendeka can reach a maximum range of 12,000 meters and an effective range of 1,000 meters. The Pendeka is also equipped with the Obra system to detect and protect by launching smoke screen to deny enemy laser targeting system. It is protected by the explosive reactive armor from any kind of anti-tank projectile. Combat Team Bravo is conducting a jockey at the left and right of the firing position. The Malaysian infantry fighting vehicles equipped with the 12.7mm heavy machine gun and the 7.62mm general purpose machine gun are conducting simultaneous firing with the pendekas from the 1 to 5mm smooth bar gun at the left of the firing position. Tanks and mechanized infantry are organic to a brigade. The brigade commander may employ the battalions or squadron without attachment, or he may organize them for combat by cross-attachment. Tank squadrons and mechanized companies normally operate directly under control of one of the regiment or battalion. A combat team applies the mobility, firepower, and shock effect in order to conduct sustained combat operations in all environments, accomplish rapid movement and limited penetration, exploit success and pursue a defeated enemy as part of a larger formation, conduct security operations such as advance, flank, or rear guard for a larger force, conduct defensive withdrawal or other operations within a assigned area of operations, and conduct offensive operations. At this juncture, the air assets 1 Super Lynx and 1 Fennex would be hovering to provide flank protection. After the success of Combat Team Bravo, a mechanized heavy combat team have been tasked to deny the advance of enemy forces. Call sign Combat Team Alpha, it will conduct a rolling forming up position and line of departure to initiate engagement of enemy forces position with fire support from the pre-H hour fire and from the direct fire support base. Please protect your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, tanks sighted at target number 7. The enemy plans to engage the combat team. A tank troop takes position on the left and right to destroy enemy tanks and provide covering fire to the combat team movement. With the tanks destroyed, Combat Team Alpha takes up position with the 3-up formation and will engage fire at targets number 4, number 5, and number 6.
Hello, local side. This is 19. Enemy sighted at target number 4, 5, and 6. Ready to fire. Fire now. Out.
What we are seeing right now is the vehicle craft of the infantry section. As soon as the vehicles reach the objective, the section will dismount the vehicle sequentially. The section commander controls and ensures that the section is properly positioned towards the enemy. The distance between every personnel is essential in order to make sure that no one is in harm's way and the concentration of fire can be efficiently concentrated towards the enemy. The infantry section will engage target number 9. The rocket-propelled grenade RPG-7, which is part of a section in the combat team Mac Heavy, is engaging target number 1. All vehicles and assault troops will now cease fire on company commander's orders. All section will mount your respective vehicles controlled by the section commander while maintaining the vehicle craft.
Hello, Tango 3-1. This is India 1-1 Alpha. Enemy tanks at target number 7. Fire for effects. Out.
You have just heard the radio comm between the section commander and the tank commander. Please protect your ears as the enemy is engaged at target number 7.
Hit tank on. Ready to fire. Firing now.
Yang Berhormat Dato' Sri, ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed the art of maneuver of a combat team mechanized heavy. For your information, the role of the mechanized elements are to destroy enemy in offensive, defensive, and other tactical operations, either independently or part of a larger force. It is organized to perform tactical tasks under command of a division, task force group, or corps headquarters, consisting of 2 mechanized infantry battalions, a tank regiment, and supported by other elements. The mechanized elements accomplishes the mission assigned by its higher formation headquarters and confirms to the commander's intent. The mechanized element applies its combined arms mobility, firepower, communication, and shock to conduct operation in all environments and accomplish rapid movement and penetrations. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the training today signifies the integration of various weapon systems and capabilities in a joint operation spectrum. The offensive action simulated today witnessed the employment of Navy and Air Force assets in assisting and augmenting the fighting capabilities of the land component. It is achieved through a rigorous and detailed appreciation process at all levels of command to ensure a feasible, acceptable, suitable, and distinguishable plan that has achieved the higher commander intent. In this scenario, the plan emphasized on the approach of a maneuver warfare to halt the enemy advance and deny their intent. Maneuver warfare is a key concept influencing the way the Malaysian Armed Forces conducts operations. The maneuver approach to warfare emphasizes the shattering, or at least disruption, of the enemy's overall cohesion and will to fight, rather than concentrating on destruction of the enemy's material or the holding of enemy's territory. The maneuvering approach also emphasizes the need to take the initiative and to apply unacceptable pressure, at times, at places, and in ways the enemy least expects. To apply this approach successfully, the focus is on achieving the precise application of decisive effort, incorporating use of surprise where possible against accurately identified critical vulnerabilities. In the application of maneuver warfare concepts today, we have witnessed how various assets are employed in its optimized capacity to impose significant damage and further negate the will to fight of the hostile forces. The ability to break their cohesion is achieved through the effective coordination of fire and their continuous offensive momentum applied throughout the operations. The training has provided a clear picture of the mechanism of a division in attack, focusing on the combat team in both tank heavy and mechanized heavy groups, while being supported by support weapons, namely the mortars and artillery, and further augmented by the Navy and the Air Force. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed the destructive firepower of individual weapon systems. Let us now experience the combined deafening and disastrous impact of all the weapon systems in this training. Ending our segment today is the thunderous impact of firing by the 2 Astros to target number 12 and beyond, 2 Pendeka to target number 3 and 7, 2 Gempita 30mm to target number 3, 1 Gempita 25mm to target number 7, and 1 Adnan 25mm to target number 4. 1 Lipan Bara to target number 1. 2 105mm pack howitzers to target number 3. 2 105mm LG1 Mark III to target number 7. And 2 155mm G5 Mark III to target number 3. Allow me to remind you that this would be truly a deafening moment, and do protect your ears. Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now the countdown. 3, 2, 1, fire! A precise and thunderous hit on the targets. Precision, agility, passion, commitment and firepower. You have seen it all. Once again, let's give the men of the Firepower Training 2022 a great round of applause. Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the firing marks the end of the dynamic segment of Firepower Training 2022. We sincerely hope that this has provided valuable knowledge on firepower in a combat zone. It also has given all of us a glimpse of the immense destruction caused by such a might of fire. On that note, our sincere gratitude and thank you very much. We now cordially invite Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri and our distinguished guests for a photo session. Please, Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri.
Assalamualaikum Datuk Seri. Kebenaran mengambil gambar sebanyak 2 sesi. Sesi pertama adalah cekak pinggang, manakala sesi kedua adalah genggam penumbuk tangan kiri di pinggang. Standby untuk sesi pertama Datuk Seri dengan kiraan sebanyak 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Gaya kedua Datuk Seri dengan kiraan 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Terima kasih Datuk Seri.
Having witnessed the destructive effects of the weapon systems today, it is time to personally experience manning one of these main machines. It does give great honor to invite Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri and distinguished guests to conduct live firing from the weapon systems of the vehicle's position and feel from yourself the firepower and the deafening blast of the massive 125mm smoothbore gun of the Pendeka, Gempita 30mm, Adnan 25mm, the Lipan Bara 7.62mm Gatling gun, the 105mm LG Mark III and the Astros II. Ladies and gentlemen, the Senior Minister of Defence will be firing from the PT-91M Pendeka.
Yes, sir. You want hard copy, soft copy?
Balik lah.
Ada belakang tu, tunggu turn.
Lepas apa? Takkanlah. Ni lepas fikir jalan tu.